My name's Sam, a second year economics student at the University of Cambridge, and in this video I'm going to walk you through all the things you can do to put yourself in the best position possible to receive an offer to study economics at Cambridge. From GCSE subjects and grades to A-level subjects and grades to your personal statement, the admission test, the supplementary additional questionnaire and the interview. So let's start this video off at the very first piece of the puzzle, your GCSEs. In terms of GCSE subjects, this really does not matter whatsoever. The subjects you choose to study for your GCSEs are probably at the bottom of the barrel in terms of importance for applications. On the other hand, GCSE grades do carry slightly greater weight. My advice here is quite simple and unsurprising: do as well in your GCSEs as possible. If I had to give one GCSE subject which is of the highest importance, it would have to be GCSE Maths. So with GCSEs out the way, let's move on to talk about A-Levels. Now A-Level subjects do actually carry some weight as opposed to GCSE subjects. The must-do subject at A-Level is Maths. As you can see here, every single Cambridge college requires you to have done A-Level Maths, and the vast majority of them require you to get an A star in it. By the way, I've linked this document in the video description if you want to go check it out yourself. So now we've got one subject out the way, there's still two or three we need to consider. I would say that the two next big subjects would be A-Level Economics and A-Level Further Maths. I would definitely say that A-Level Maths, Further Maths and Economics are the big three. And the Cambridge Economics admission data would back this up. And this is taken directly from the Cambridge Economics admissions page. For 2017, 2018 and 2019 entry, the majority of entrants from an A-Level background achieved at least 3 A stars, 87% of entrants. These successful applicants typically took Economics, 93%, or Further Maths, also 93%, with 86% taking both. So it's clear that the vast majority of successful candidates are doing these three subjects. And if you want to do 4 A-Levels, which a lot of students here have done, there's quite a lot of leeway for this fourth and final A-Level. For example, subjects such as physics, history, politics, chemistry are all pretty common. Me personally, I did Maths, Further Maths, Economics and Physics. Now let's talk A-Level grades. As you saw before, 87% of successful candidates went on to achieve at least 3 A stars. But you may be happy to know 3 A stars is not what's required to get in here. Again, this may slightly vary by college, but the vast majority of offers will be 2 A stars and an A with an A star in A-Level Maths. Although, as you saw, 87% of successful candidates got 3 A stars, so in terms of your predicted grades, it's quite important to get these as all A stars. If you're interested in my offer, it was contingent on me getting 2 A stars and an A, with both A stars being in Maths and Further Maths. So with GCSEs and A-Levels now out of the way, let's go on to talk about the personal statement. Now, I do have an entire video walking you through my personal statement, which you can watch up there, so here I'll just go through the important stuff. Firstly, make it really clear that you want to study economics and that you really enjoy the subject. Whether you do this by mentioning books you've read, or courses you completed, or lectures you've attended, etc., make it clear through the use of examples that you really like the subject of economics. Secondly, make it clear you have the mathematical and problem-solving ability to do well on the course. For example, talk about individual and team UKMT challenges. If you got through to any Kangaroo or Olympiad rounds, be sure to mention that as well. Essentially, you want to let the admissions team know you're really interested in the subject and you have the groundwork to be really good at the subject. Now let's move on to the admission test. So the current admission test for economics at Cambridge is a TMUA. Now they changed this quite recently, as before it used to be the ECAA. Now of course admission tests are very important, and the best way to do well on these is to do a lot of practice. There are a decent number of past papers online, linked down below if you're struggling to find them, but if you use all of these, do similar tests. Doing questions from the UKMT and similar stuff is quite useful as well. But what's really important to actually succeed in the test is that when you're practicing, make sure you're practicing under timed conditions. And this is because the actual questions you are faced with in these tests are not that difficult. What's difficult is accurately answering them within the tough time conditions. For the TMUA, you have 20 questions to answer and only 75 minutes to do it. So that's less than 4 minutes a question, so make sure you can be consistently accurate in these tough time conditions. And honestly, lots of practice is the best way to do this. The next step of your application is the SAQ, or the Supplementary Additional Questionnaire. Now this questionnaire is a uniquely Cambridge thing, i.e. no other university will ask for this. And the vast majority of this is absolutely fine, just like a normal questionnaire, but there's one section which a lot of students worry about. And this section is the optional additional personal statement. Essentially, there's a space for students to do another personal statement where they can mention things they didn't mention on the original personal statement. When I was going through the application process, I was pretty worried about this, because I thought it was some sort of test that you had to put something on there to show you were really dedicated to the subject. However, having spoke to someone in the year above me who got into Cambridge and saying that they didn't do anything, I decided I didn't really have anything to add, so I decided to leave it blank. But my general advice would be this: if you have something additional you want to say and you feel like it is relevant, go for it. If you included everything you wanted to in your original personal statement and you feel like you'll just be repeating yourself if you add information here, it's probably best to leave it blank. And now the big final step, the interview. Now, just to let you know, I do have an interview tips video which you can watch up here, and I also have a video of me walking you through a typical Cambridge economics question which you can also watch up here. But here I'll just go through the key things you can do in your interview to maximise the likelihood of you getting an offer. A quick note is that interview structure and content can differ quite a lot from college to college. I've heard of everything from game theory questions to probability questions, discussions of articles, graph sketching, all that stuff coming up in the interview. For your convenience, I've linked a public document down below of past interview questions that have happened at King's College, Cambridge. Hopefully having a look through that will be quite useful to you. And although interview content and structure can vary, there are some things I'm pretty certain will come up in your interview. Firstly, in some way, the interview will test your problem-solving ability. And when this does inevitably happen, what's key is showing that you have an ability to logically walk through a solution. To see fully what I mean by this, I'd really recommend watching this video here. The second thing I'm pretty certain of is that in some way, you'll be in a situation that you're not 100% sure what the answer is to what you're being asked. What's important here is to keep positive, keep trying, but be willing to change your approach. The thing that is so important is to be listening to what your interviews are saying and be very willing to take on board any advice and hints they are giving you. They want to see how quickly and easily you can adapt and change your way of thinking, so by taking on board their tips and advice, it really shows them that you're both willing and able to change how you think and how you go about a problem. And I would say if you can do everything I've outlined here, if you can get good GCSE grades across the board, take the appropriate A-level subjects and be on track to achieve A stars, write a personal statement that demonstrates your interests and abilities, put up a good score in TMUA, and have an engaging interview where you demonstrate your problem-solving ability and the ability to change your thinking, then you'll be in the best position possible to achieve that offer. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you next week.